Well, I think as you can hear, I've got that tone. And I opened up the computer and I couldn't see any problems. But you know, I just now moved an audio cable here. Okay, it's not doing it now. Wait a minute. Can you hear that? Okay. I think that I may have stumbled on it. And you know, this started right after I was working with some audio problems. And if you happen to see that video a while back, I talked about that I was anxious to get my Sound Blaster 5 or whatever it is hooked up because the audio was so good then. And so now I'm going to pause this, and I'm going to go and make a change to, I'm not sure exactly which change I'm going to make, but to the audio cables, I think. So anyway, I'm going to pause this. Well, I'm not sure if I should pause it. I may just delete it, but if you see this, you'll know. Anyway, I'm working on it. I did move the microphone, by the way, from where it was right next to the computer and where the noise is coming from, down all the way at the other end. But I think the problem is there is a cable problem here, so I'm going to have to work on that. Anyway, I'm working on it. Okay, I think I fixed it. I disconnected my Sound Blaster device, which I had been raving about a long time because I've used it on and off, and went to this $19 let's see if I can get it up. Well, it's hooked up here. There you go. You can sort of see it. And it looks like that took care of the problem. So I'm glad of that. If it has, probably it's in the background right now because I don't have the volume turned up. Anyway, I think it's fixed. Well, I'm going to pause this. Going to have biscuits and gravy for lunch, I guess.
All the way out.
Yeah.
Our first stop is going to be dry land. The first dry land that we hit on this side of the river. All right. A little bit nervous.
Okay, I believe it appears that I have taken care of the tone. That was easy to fix, but got a fly in here who wants some of my biscuits and gravy. Room is a mess because I've got all that other stuff. I got all the other stuff out that I was, working on or trying to mess with, and this device let me down for the first time. This other device, though, the $19 one, I don't even know what its phone. I can't. I don't know what it says, but anyway, but it's been a good product for me. I've used it a bunch of times. Man, this room is a mess. My bed is covered with stuff. I had my doctor's appointment on the 1st. Let's see. Oh, I disconnected the Razor camera. I just decided one camera was better for me. Because you may have noticed I'd be sitting here and I'd be like, oh, wait a minute, you know, which camera is it, you know? So now this is the camera, the Avery Media. Now I'm not sure if that's the best location for it, but I moved that microphone down here thinking I could get it away from the noise, and wasn't necessary to do that, but the microphone is now down here. I want to put some of this stuff away. I'm not sure now that, since this is the only camera, I'm not sure if this is where oops.
I know how treacherous this river can be.
My turn to hike up the river.
So, I saw an interesting short YouTube video, Norway I think it was, and their royal guards or whatever for the royalty there. There were, I think, 2 or 3 of the royal guards out there, all 3 armed with rifles. And there was a guy who was, I don't know what he was doing, resisting them or whatever they were. And it's a, short video. But it was kind of hard, because they didn't want to hit him with a rifle. He didn't have a gun or a weapon apparently. And he was just not complying and arguing, I guess, with him. There was no audio. So these guys, all 3 of the Royal Guard had the rifles and made them very difficult trying to deal with this guy. And then the guy started, like walking away from him. And they go after him. One of the guys, they all 3 had rifles. One of the guys tries to, grab him or whatever, and he gets, the guy, the Royal Guard gets knocked down or whatever. Then there's apparently 2 more of the Royal Guards, and one of them, I think he was just getting dressed or something, or else maybe he put his revolver, or, maybe not a revolver, maybe an auto on. And he came out, he wasn't dressed like the other guys, and he had his hands free. And then he yells something at the guy who was kind of moving away, and this guy yells something, I think that was the guy that yelled something at him. And the guy turned around, and then, so there'd been about 5 guys at least around him, coming up on him, and then he put his hands up. Well, the guy that came out, the soldier that came out, I could tell immediately that the guy who was doing whatever he was doing that he shouldn't be doing is going to be sorry. Because this guy, 1, he didn't have a rifle in his hands. And 2, I could just tell the way the guy was coming out that maybe he was their martial arts instructor or something. Anyway, the guy put his hands up, This guy just grabbed him and slammed him on the ground, twisted his arm behind him, put his, knee or whatever on this guy's head and was pushing it into the sand or the ground or whatever. So that was interesting. My son one time corrected me. He heard me making a video and I said, in 30 years, I was really lucky. I had to be involved. I was involved, in taking control of somebody or arresting them or whatever, and I always won. Then my son said, "Well, you got bit one time," and I forgot about that, but I still won. And she went to jail. She bit my arm pretty good. But a lot of times I was lucky. Because sometimes people were, being so drunk or whatever. That helped, And there was a few times where somebody showed up, another officer, just in the nick of time. Not that I was at a disadvantage right then, but I might have been, So I was lucky. 30 years hospital security. And so I'm sure glad that tone, whatever it was fixed. And apparently it was, an audio cable laying on or underneath a cable, another audio cable, and it was some type of feedback or something. So I'm glad of that because I opened up the $200 Dell, rehab unit, and there wasn't much in there I could see. I mean, it wasn't like something was loose or something like that. I moved the microphone down here to try to get it away, hoping I could, reduce that, but it's apparently fixed now. I hope it doesn't come back, because basically, not counting the Chromebook that I have, a lap Chrome unit, which doesn't have much memory, but then I have a bunch of USB things I could plug in for more memory and SD cards and that kind of stuff. But the rest of my stuff is, don't ask how many I messed up. I think I messed up all of them, all the other units. And some of it was, I think all of it was stupidity. The B-Link or whatever, the small, they took the bottom off of it, and I'm not sure what I did, and I didn't really get in there and do anything worthwhile. I think I might have upgraded the micro SD card, or the drive. And then the one unit I could not get, it should have been easy. The bottom plate goes on and it wouldn't, it wouldn't go down where it was supposed to go down. And what's the problem with the other one? I don't remember. But so this looks like it's going to be a 15-minute video, and I'll get it uploaded. Probably by the time I get it uploaded, there'll be a bunch of comments left on the videos for the last couple of videos that I made. Probably saying, "Yeah, you made the thing worse. There's this terrible tone." I'm kind of afraid to say, "No, I fixed it now. I fixed it," because it'll come back to haunt me. Anyway, thank you very much for watching.